That's why. Hello, hello. There we go. Gotta add yourself to the stream. Gotta add yourself to the stream, and that will allow you or allow me to be heard. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit off. I literally just woke up 15 minutes ago. Um, oh god, today wasn't a crazy one in terms of just work. When you're doing like programming and stuff like that, one thing about us as coders and programmers is we just need to know what you want to do. If the person doesn't know what they want to do in terms of the result, there's not much you can help them with. There's not much you can help them with immediately. There's going to be more work that you're going to have to do. And what I'm starting to see, even at my day job, is that we have to, or in this process that I was working on, an onboarding form and a whole process to work and integrate into a project. Um, you know, our job went beyond, and I didn't realize it until like today, but our job was going beyond coding, like as a department, coding and putting things in place. Our job, or what it turned out that the other department needed, is someone to really hold their hand and actually write down the other department's process, which is, I know there's people like probably listening or out as always. Hey guys, thank you for joining the stream. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for those that are watching the playback and watching the playback later on and throughout the week. It's cool to see the numbers go up, and I appreciate you guys. If there's anything you guys want me to do into the future, after this project, but please let me know if there's anything you want me to look at or answer some questions. I think as the channel or the following grows for this type of stream, and I'll do some more things that interact with the actual users. Um, and but I do want to hear if you guys, hey, listen, if you want me to look at something or look at a problem or try to like see if there's any way I can help. It'll be a challenge for me, and it'd be kind of cool to see if I can actually make that work. But appreciate you guys showing up. So back to the mini rant here, or expression of thoughts and feelings, and and working out and venting of my frustrations. Um, I didn't know in terms of what we had to do for this department that we really had to hold their hands. Um, it wasn't until today where it was what I like to call crystallized into into just like a single sentence or a thought. When you can crystallize like an entire um, series of thoughts, entire experience into one sentence, call that crystallization. It could be even or consolidation even. So and being succinct with it and just being like, okay, boom, this is it. What I didn't know is that this department didn't have their own process worked out. And with the process not being fully worked out, they don't know what goes when, or they didn't have a system for what happens when and what goes where, and or what I like to say, what goes when. Um, they didn't have that system in place. They don't know it because they don't even have it written down. It's not something that they do all the time. No, sorry, it's something they do all the time, but it's not something they do in a procedural, methodical, organized, sequential way. In some cases, some things are not done sequentially. Maybe some things are done in parallel or in tandem. You know, but you still have to account for certain things. So another guy is actually, heading up the project and putting it all together. Um, and he's doing a great job, way better job than me. But it made me realize with all the work that he's doing that this department did not have their stuff together, and that was very surprising and eye opening. And I was just like, holy crap, they don't even know what they're doing. So, anyways, all good people all around, but it's just when you're coding this stuff and you don't like, and you're dealing with a department or group that doesn't know that, that's a serious issue, and that becomes a problem for you as a coder. All right, so tonight, in terms of the stream, our boilerplate script is pretty much freaking done, man. Uh, I was working on it quite a bit after the last stream, and I went ahead and made some changes, some really good changes, and also some discoveries. We can go ahead and run it and see where we're at right now. Let's go ahead and cd to the op directory, and let's see what we have in this. Oh my God, Jesus, that's a lot of different folders that we created. Whoa. Yeah, I went crazy. So there's a lot to do. I got most of these, or I had a lot of the older ones erased, and then I did some more stuff. But I think I got all these out of there now. Like my whole repository, my whole repository itself, or list of repositories is clean. There's nothing here in terms of what I got. Some old stuff that I have. But yeah, so I got everything out of here and all this cleaned up. So we'll do a run for today, but let's go ahead and clean up some of these directories. And you can see the amount of times I tested it. I don't know where I stopped on stream. I think I stopped at maybe like 11 or yeah, probably 11, probably 12. I don't know. But then I went on to like another, total 20 something times that I ran this. And, I did, the usual things where you tested a little bit of it, a lot of bit of it, things like that. Actually, let's do this. I do want to see in that last obfuscate folder, -23, Jordan. Oh shoot, that's a folder. That's a directory. I want to see here the system confs, system vars. Yeah, I added to where that should be escaped. Or not escaped. I escaped the what are those things called again? The double quotes. Well, let me get my screens right here on the other stuff. Let me get my little control room looking right. I've been watching like the gameplay footage for Returnal. That looks like a pretty good game. And SkillUp, which is I guess a review channel, but SkillUp has like a nice little video review of it. So I'm 5 minutes into that. I gotta finish that up. After this, I think I'm gonna be working out tonight for sure. I did one walk today. Woke up on time. I didn't do my second walk, which is okay because my first walk I did with a weight vest, and I was starting to feel it in my left big toe again. So I can't be putting too much weight on that sucker. Probably going to be a little bit longer before I can actually do that again, or do that again without serious pain or complication there. So let's go ahead and create a new window. CD to Alt, CD to Alt, and CD to Alt, and CD to boiler. No, just boilerplate. Okay. Yeah, we don't need to see it here, so I can do rm-rf, and I could do get rid of all the obfuscate folders. All right, cool. So now I'm out of all the obfuscate folders should be gone. And the rm-rf command, which is R means recursive and F means force. I believe you have to do the F with the directory or non-empty directory. If the directory has something in it, or if the directory doesn't have anything into it, you can just do an RM and it'll remove it just like you would a normal file. It does that as protection to make sure that you don't delete anything that you actually do want. But doing the RF, it will get rid of everything for you. Let's do the LS. LS. Okay, crazy. I don't know why that's kind of cool though that it did that. I never knew that I could do that. All right, so I only got one folder in the directory. Let's get into it. Project.sh. So tonight we want to finish this and get this over with. A couple things. So I added probably about two different or two new variables. First, let's just check what I had to check here. That system vars file, it should look like this now, and it should encapsulate username and the actual the key and the value itself. It should encapsulate those with quotation marks. So I just want to make sure that's good. All right, so let's review some of the changes. Let's get this to one window. Let's see how this looks on stream here. Yeah, it should be good enough for you guys. As I said, I'll be purchasing StreamYard so I can get better quality out to you guys. Kind of just got to budget it, really. I mean, that $50 a month or so, or $40 a month or so that I'd be taking away from that, from my budget, is taken away from my investments. But I want to make an investment into my community, to my people. So let's call it that, right? So, and with the StreamYard, and I can stream more because it looks like I'm already reaching my limit. You can only do like 20 hours a month or something like that, and you can only do 720p. So that's why the streams don't look too good. Alrighty. So GitHub username, I think I'm gonna take that out. I don't need that. What I did do is scripter echo pwd. So the reason why I did it like this is it is assumed that the directory that you're working from will be, I mean, the way that I write the script, you will be working from the Node.js boilerplate directory. Now, that directory, it should be listed or stored in the variable pwd, present working directory. So if I do pwd while I'm in it, this is what it should come out to. Now, what this does, it allows this to be a little bit on the variable side, meaning that I don't have to know exactly where you're going to put it, and I don't have to be static in terms of, oh, okay, you're going to put it in the op directory, or you're going to put it in the bin directory, or anything else like that, or even your user folder name directory. Like, how would I know what your user folder name is going to be every single time? And then I don't have to go in and change the script every time. So you have to think about things like that too, where it's like, okay, is it a relative path? Is it an exact or absolute path? Is it a path that should always be there based on the system that you're actually, is this a system based on the system that you're running it on? Like, or the operating system, is it Debian? Is it CentOS? Things like that. You make assumptions that can also later screw you over when someone else runs the script on, from, what if you had like a really, really good script, quote unquote, that ran from, say, Ubuntu 6.4, 6.04, something like that. And now the latest version is like, I think it's like 20 something. 20 something is the latest LTS. So it's like no, not LTS. LSB underscore release dash A. So if you do the LSB underscore release space dash A command, it'll actually tell you a little bit more about your distribution. This definitely works. I know for like with Debian and stuff like that. Other distributions you may not actually have it. So in this case, it says no LSB modules are available. But if you do the dash A, it should give you what your distribution is, your main distribution, and then its full name, and then its release. And then in this case, it's focal. So, and then you can also use new uname, which is actually really good about getting system information. So uname dash A. And with this uname, it should list. This is something that should be on just about every Linux flavor. that I've seen, whether it be a GNU Debian or the Debian distribution, or even like a Fedora-like, Red Hat-like, or CentOS-like operating system. So Fedora, Red Hat, or Red Hat, Fedora, and CentOS, they're pretty much all the same operating system at their core, and they're just different levels of that distribution in terms of um, what's it called? Uh, Support and included binaries for certain systems. So like if you wanted to use a business class version of a Linux operating system without support that's decent enough, you're going to use something like CentOS. If you want to use a community sourced version that is not so much business ready or business hardened, you'll use Fedora because that's more like a testing ground. If you want business class or enterprise class with support and special binaries and special tools and things like that for clustering and other things, you're going to use Red Hat. But at their core, they're pretty much the same type of kernel with small differences, and also large differences in communities. And also change schedule too. So like CentOS doesn't do as many changes as Fedora, but with CentOS, you can stick with the same version for longer periods of time. So you can do uname -a on most operating systems, and you'll get a little bit more about the actual kernel and a little bit more about the system itself. Um, but yeah, uname it. That's a great source of information. And there's also like another thing. Like if you want like we're going down a rabbit hole. That's how they always start. Next thing you know, the stream is 4 hours later, and we still haven't done any coding, right? But if you want to do something like get motherboard based information, or even memory information, if you want memory information for a system, you do like free-g, and that'll give you like your memory, but then in gigabytes. If you do like just free, it should give you 2 bytes, I believe. And then you can actually do -k, and that'll get you in. No, it doesn't do it in kilobytes. I thought it did in kilobytes. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much difference. Let's do free dash dash help. Um, no, yeah, okay, yeah, showing kibibytes, kibibytes. Okay, that's what it was. And then kilobytes is different. And you guys have to understand like the difference between bytes and bits. Usually bits is by divisible by 1,000. Kind of like it's like metrics versus imperial, so meters versus inches, right? Um, Kilobytes is you're dividing by 8, and what's it called, kibibytes or bits is dividing by like 1,000. So and that's the overall on that. Please research that one. That helps when you're like dividing, trying to figure out size. But when you're dealing with like internet traffic, that's in bits per second, or bits usually. So it's like 1,000, as opposed to the amount of bytes that are being transferred, which is going to be dividing by 8. All right. So, but you could do free, and then you could do like DMI decode, and then you could do a pipe symbol because it's going to be a crap ton load of information. DMI decode space pipe. And what the pipe symbol does is like, okay, it takes your information and then you could pipe it into something else. You can also push it. There's other ways, like when you pipe something into a command, you could do a greater than or less than sign, and that changes the way the data flows depending on the command itself. But in this case, we're going to just do a regular old pipe, and then we're going to do less. So in case less is more. So in this case, I can actually see a little bit about the underlying system that my VM in this case is running on. You should be able to do this without root. I think you could do this without root access, but you could see a little bit more about, where does it say, like the BIOS, and then it starts getting into like serial numbers, if they have any meaning. If you do this like on an actual system, yeah, see now I'm seeing like, okay, how many um what core that I'm running on, or or not the core, but the processor type. And this is good in case you can't open up this is not like, Linux is, of course, is not like Windows where you have a place where you can just go ahead and pull out the information about how much memory you have. In some cases, it'll tell you if that information is given or passed to the operating system. You can even tell, like, what motherboard that you have. So this is really good when you're trying to do like specking out memory, but you can't take the system down until you you can't take the system down until, a maintenance window or something like that. So DMI decode is pretty good for that. And then what's another one, man? Name spaces. Ooh. Oh, LSPCI. So list PCI. LSPCI is pretty good. Oh, I guess I got nothing. I don't know. There's triggers for that. LSPCI. So LSPCI is list PCI, and you can list all the PCI devices that you actually have connected to your system. It'll show differently for everybody. So I don't really have anything, but I think it should still show some stuff though. I want to see if there's an A. No, there's not an all method. Okay. Numeric IDs. V for verbose. Yeah, I guess I got nothing. There's also LS USB, so you can see like all your you should be able to list all your USB devices. I don't have nothing. Damn, why don't I swear I should have some type of output here, but if you guys try this on a non-VPS, non-virtual system, you should get all the PCI cards and things like that you have available. So test that out. It's really cool to get into that, and that's one of those things that you'll learn on probably even like Linux Plus, or if you're going through the Linux Plus certification. Oh, and also, guys, let me know if you need the notes for that. I'll give you my notes from like years ago when I actually took my Linux Plus certification. I did not renew, so it's not valid anymore. But when you use it long enough, I mean, they can't take the knowledge away from you unless you just, lose it. But for the most part, the the Linux Plus certification is a really good certification to get. But really, you should be using Linux for like a year before you even try and take that certification, because it's just so. And I'm talking like, when I say use it as your main computer for like an entire year, no matter what. Even if you can't, even if you need Windows, put Windows on a VM, but it must be running on that Linux, and you have to be immersed in Linux to really pass that certification, without like too much of a hassle, because there's just so many commands that I don't even use, that you can use. Like, for instance, if I just do tab, like I got like the option of 12,000 or almost 1,300, 12,000, almost 1,300 commands that I can actually, that are at my disposal per se, right? So if I press Y, I mean, these are like these are the commands in a sense that I have access to. So IP tables apply, got all this stuff here. So like imagine trying to like learn all these in like just a cram session over a weekend. It's not happening. And with the way Linux Plus is, you're literally learning an entire operating system and all the commands within it. So yeah, good luck on that one there, big guy. All right, cool. Just want to check my sound. Yeah, good luck on that one, big guy. Like, that's not gonna work out too well for you. Oh, all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let's get back at it. I think we're on 0, right? Okay, let's go to 0. Good. So yeah, we were talking. This is how we went down this PWD. So if you in terms if you want like the output of a command as a variable, you just encapsulate in $ parentheses and then echo. It'll execute that command and then take its output as a variable, which is what you have here for scriptr. So this is the script that I'm writing, or that I'm running everything in. Visibility. This is the what is it called? This is the regular expression for that. This is broken down into pieces. So this is the first piece here. Actually, no, here we go. This is the first piece here. This is the second one here, and then this is the third. So that's just exactly matching public, private, or internal. Um, exact match. So no internals, no publics, or anything like that. It's almost like a trip down memory lane. It's gonna be so sad to not see this anymore. Totally lying. Totally ready to finish with this project here. All right, so I think we got everything good. And I always like to just honestly, when you want to release stuff and everything can't be perfect. There will be problems with this. There'll be things that I discover after the fact that's like, oh man, that'll be a good ad. Oh man, we got to add that. Don't be afraid. Just put it out there and kind of get it done. And then as it goes on, like probably 2 or 3 times I'm gonna have to go back to this and update it. But honestly, every single time that I go back, it'll be small tweaks. It won't be anything serious. So like even this right here, that doesn't need to be encapsulated into anything because we want that to be out there like that, or it doesn't need double quotes. But pretty much it creates everything that we need. Um, I would like to, maybe add, a SSL certificate here and put that in myself. Maybe even add a trigger that only runs this version or runs this command. You can do things like that. You can actually have a help menu for this type of stuff. That might be something that's good, but I don't think we really need it on this script. This is going to be like now. This would be the main point or the main function. After the prompts, this is where a lot of the work gets done. So you do all your GitHub stuff, and then after that, you're going to, this is where you do all your CD to your base directory, and then once that's in place, then you put it into you go into your subdirectory of the created project, and after it's initialized, and then go for, yeah, so GitHub repo URL. I had to put that together, and how to get that. So once you're actually in the directory itself, base store and then project name. So once you're in the actual working directory for the project, then you can go ahead and get the GitHub URL. So the way that works, Git. All right, so in this case, this is what it's going to give you here. At one point, what I was doing was actually taking out the HTTPS and then adding it back later, because what I really needed was this whole entire string here, and then I wanted to add or prepend some stuff here. So I took out HTTPS, added it later, chopped it up, and flipped it up and reversed it there and remixed it a little bit. But I didn't really need to do that because after testing, it didn't really make sense. So in this case, these are the commands that I had to run to more or less automate this process. So once you change into that directory, I get the GitHub repo URL, then run all the things to generate all the files and the file system really, and the base the foundational folders and everything like that. And then I can actually start, like if I do after I do base folders, now I can start generating all the different configs, readmes, and package that JSON, all that other stuff, getting it ready to go. Another thing I can actually do after this is start running commands like the npm command, which would be kind of cool. So like I could do npm install, and then go from there. Like I can do all of that. I could do all of that at the end of the script too. That might be something that we'll add tonight just to make sure that everything runs as expected, and all the modules and everything else like that is downloaded, and we don't really have any problems there. So we'll probably add that. That's really one of those things where, one thing that we need to have. Oh no, we already have it. Git ignore. I don't think we have a git ignore. ls-alh and static. Yeah, we do have a git ignore, but I don't know if it's moved into place. Let's actually see that. I'm just gonna copy the name and then, yeah, there's no get ignored. Look at that. What am I doing to myself? So, base folders, do static files. So we'll do that in the do static files. I'm making this hard on myself. Boom. All right. And this is good because now we can see what we did with the do static files and using that variable for scriptor. So this is the script directory, and we could see like the script directory should be the Node.js. So opt, in this case, it'll be /opt /Node.js boilerplate. So that's the script directory. But since we're CDing out of it, then we're gonna have to use the absolute path, and we're going to take all the information out of there and the static files folder and go ahead and put it into our project folder, right? So we'll just go ahead and copy or cut and copy on that. And we're going to do the dot get ignore. All right. Yeah, that should be it on that. That's really all we have to add in there. And we're doing a copy just in case we ever want to run this script again or anything like that. We'll keep this script in that opt directory as one of the projects. And then we can always do a git pull to update all the information or update it, and even do a push depending on if this is the new master or the latest version of the repo or anything else like that. We can even do a git merge just so it can actually merge any changes between the two. So that's kind of like a bidirectional put. That's a push pull really. But yeah, so we got the get ignore in place, and you can see we use a scriptor. You can see how we're creating folders here using the make dir command. So we don't have like, I'm creating what? 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 folders, all in one command line, or one like actual consolidated down to one line using the built-in syntax in terms of creating multiple folders and subfolders. And by doing the -p, it'll create the parent folder if it does not exist. If it does exist, no biggie. It'll create all the subsequent or subdirectories. Also, our sed command, we're doing everything in line and then outputting that information or outputting that result into our core.js file. And this, we'll check the order on that. I'm not having any problems with it, but sometimes you got to check the order on the way you're doing things, and maybe you can put it in a better order. Yeah, so it does the core.js. Do generate core.js. Oh. Yeah, that's not, I think it works, but let's go ahead and switch that, because we want to put the static file in place and then go ahead and generate that core.js file, or not even generate the core.js file here, or not even you put the core.js file in during the static file function. I'll show you what I mean here. So what we have here is, oh, okay, cool. Core.js isn't created, so it doesn't matter. Oops. Core.js. All right, yeah, so we'll generate the core.js, and that is done after the base folders are created, so it'll be put in place. The reason I did that, or I was worried about that, is if the static file is put in place and then it modifies it, then that's a problem. It's probably better off that we just have it do the sed line, make changes at the insertion point, and replace all the information based off of this here, based off of this string here, and then in this case take the scriptor scripter / static files / core.js, and then overwrite that file or push the information from the sed into our core.js file. So this generates our core.js file for us based off of all of the variables that are collected during the prompt function. Auth token file. I did make some changes here as well in terms of defining the auth token file. So either you're going to have the auth token file here, where it's defined the path of that auth token file, or we're going to take auth token string and then make our auth token file. The reason I did that is because then no matter any time I use the auth token file after this point, it will always be either the auth token file that I put in manually, or the one that I generated, which is a more secure way of doing it. So, and I don't want to make this any longer. It's just like, please enter the full path of your GitHub auth token file. Please enter or press enter to manually enter the token string. And I almost want to put like more secure. So. Yeah, I don't feel like there's nothing really to change. You should know that's more secure, if anything. The reason why it's more secure is because after everything is said and done, that auth token file is still not on your system because I go ahead and erase that. Let's make sure that it doesn't get erased. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't get erased. I know it doesn't get erased because it hasn't gotten erased yet. And if it is supposed to get erased, ooh. All right, cool. So here, else. Read if auth token file, then okay, if not auth token file. So if there's no auth token file, go ahead and do this. And then ask for the auth token. Else just move into the next thing. If then all right, cool. So if there's an auth token file here, it'll remove it. But it shouldn't go to this because it's already done all of this here. No, that should be erasing that auth token file. Yeah, we'll have to run it and see what happens because I think if I do root, yeah, it actually erases my auth token file. Yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. I got that auth token somewhere. And it's only for the stream, so it's not like a big deal. Where did I put it? If anything, I have to regenerate another one because they don't show you those auth tokens after the fact. Yeah, okay, cool. I got it somewhere. I do have it saved here. All right. And the more secure way is to actually put it on there or put it in the wait. Is that why it was not working? Oh, that'd be crazy. Huh. All right, is what it is. We'll deal with that in a second. That made me think about something what I was doing after testing after the last stream. Again, so we continue with our checks. So that'll erase the auth token file. That's working as expected. So whatever the result of the auth token, whichever path we actually take, then we'll go ahead and do the go ahead with authenticating with the GitHub CLI, check for visibility, and then we'll start creating all of our stuff here. One thing we can do is push origin master, static files. There's that. There's nothing that should be done here. Maybe there's one or two things that we want to do after. We can have it to where it does all this for us. So I can do an npm install. All right. So then it'll actually, or npm I, and it'll install everything using the package.json. And then I can even start running the web server if I wanted to, or I could just not have that at all. But the reason why I can do it here, or should do it here, is because now we're under the cd command here. So it's already in that current we already changed the directory to the projects base directory. And then we can go ahead and do all the installations for everything. So let's go ahead and save that. There shouldn't be anything else that I can think of here. We're not going to do the nginx config. We did change that to where the config goes to the config names itself after the actual project. So that way it adds all the it'll add the virtual host config to the nginx set of configs that are ran, giving us this virtual host list here, or not gives us virtual host list, but it'll be one of the sites enabled, one of the sites enabled, so that we can actually run, that virtual host with that config, or with this config here. Let's show you that here. So yeah, project name. So default dash project name under sites enabled. And then we can even restart nginx if we needed to. Actually, that'd probably be a good thing. So maybe we do something like, actually after that. So after you put in nginx, you might want to do like even an nginx-t. We can do that. Nginx-t just says test the config. So if I do nginx-t, it'll say like, configuration successful, syntax is okay. And then we can choose what we want to do from there, if we want to actually load that. But one of the things we'll do here is with that, we'll do an nginx-t, and then the command should be service nginx. It doesn't do it. And then we could do like a restart. Ooh. There's different ways you can do this, depending on the operating system and the distribution that's out there. But yeah, you can do a service nginx restart. And we could put that in there. So all that, writes the config, tests the config, and then, puts everything in there for us. I wonder if we can, we could probably even test just that config alone. So let's actually see if we can do that. Nginx-t, -t, and then we can dash help. Okay, maybe it's just dash help. All right, the prefix. Oh, okay, so yeah, we could do -c and just test the file name. So set configuration file default nginx.conf. All right, so I wonder what that is. Maybe this doesn't do test the vhost, because what this is going to do is include all of this stuff here. So include all the things that are in site enabled, or in this case modules enabled. I think it should be doing our site enabled in there too. Yeah, here we go. Sites enabled. All right, so that just points to all of those. -t, we're gonna do -c, and then we're gonna do etc nginx, sites enabled, default, directive is not allowed, test failed, server directive is not allowed in here, in the default. Yeah, so it's just best to do -t because it looks like it's expecting this config file Okay. And this is just me learning more about the processes that I use all the time. There's just so much that you do that you just really, at some point, you just have to be focused and just be like, I don't really care about it unless I need it. So this is just me actually going back and learning a little bit about the systems that I use or the binaries and projects and other things that I use. So nginx.t or dash t, yeah, so that's fine. And it should catch if there's anything that's wrong in the subsequent files, subsequent configuration files. I know it does that because if you make a change, this is good to do before you actually do a restart. So if successful, like you could do like if successful, if the, yeah, we could do, oh, I spelled Nginx wrong. If successful, then we can run, restart. Otherwise, Nginx config issue or something like that. So we can actually add that. How do we do that again? So, oof, Nginx, exit code, and that is going to equal $. And remember, we can do echo and find out the exit code of the previous command, right? So we could do an echo $, question mark. All right, cool. And then, all right, just a little bit more to work with here. If spacing is so important in Bash, so Nginx exit code equals 0, and we don't want to get our ternary operator issue here, so we're just going to make this a string. I think we can get away with this. I don't think we could probably get away with it on this one because it's going to be a number instead of a string per se, and yes, there's a difference, right? Then else echo issue with configuration. And one thing we can do here is like when we're doing that nginx-t, we can actually, I believe we should be able to pipe that to standard output, or sorry, we could pipe that to dev null. So I think it's like, give me a second, let me look that up. Bash pipe. Oh, we didn't go over the artwork, guys. This is what happens when you wake up out of nowhere to try and do a stream. So that's just pretty cool. Random afternoon. It's like that one game where you're like exploring different planets that are created by other people and they're like automatically generated or they're randomly generated. That's kind of cool. Like New Horizons or something like that. So bash pipe to dev null. And I don't want to do error. I just want to actually just pipe the whole everything into dev null. I don't really care about it. So how to redirect all output to dev null. You do this when you don't want anything, you don't really care about it at all. And we just want to make sure that this preserves everything for us. To redirect both standard error and standard output file, you should use the form to file. Okay, output to file. All right, so that's if you output the information to a file, maybe a log file or something like that. With regard to your case, that means substitute and then go to dev null. All right, cool. With regard, that means substitute. Oh, okay, boom. Well, that's why reading is fundamental. All right, let's actually go ahead and share that. All right, so that's in the chat if you guys need it. And that's the answer. Have I Stack Overflow? So in our case, what is this? All right. I want to see what that returns. So I also want to see what that returns if I do it like that. Yeah, cool. So even though it went to dev null, I still get the error code, or get the error code from this command being ran, but it doesn't output. I like that better in terms of it being cleaner because I don't want Nginx, even though I run the Nginx -t for testing the config. Even though I run it there, I really don't care what it says. I just want it to exit code. So you can run a lot of this stuff into dev null if you wanted to in terms of its output. I can do this even in other places as I quote unquote clean up the script over time, but we won't get into that because we want to get into other things. All right, cool. So Nginx -t, boom, and then that means I'll still get my my exit code. If exit code is equal to 0, then go from there. If it's anything other than 0, then that's not a clean exit. Issue with configuration. Issue with Nginx configuration. Please check. Because I like dots. I like trailing dots, man. That's why I put them in there. Oh, and let's end our if statement here. So adding a little logic there, so we should be good to go. And we'll actually uncomment this. All right, cool. Yeah, I think you're done. And this will be interesting too, because I was having problems with using the git commands, but I think with the gh-auth command, what I don't like, I wish the gh-auth command, I can actually maybe even do something like automatically push as I need to, and the only way around that is if I use an SSH key, which I don't want to do that for every project, or I may not put it on every system. Like I don't want a whole bunch of systems to have the same SSH key. Maybe that's something that you do after the fact. So it's like, I don't want to go through all that, you know? And then there's other things that I might have to do, such as put my name, because there's like a global config that you actually have to do. Oh yeah, that's, and then you only have to, well, not only, but you'll do that on like local systems. So, damn, how am I gonna do that? In my case, I can default that. All right, give me a sec. Let me just like GitHub. Ooh. Wow, Evil Book 2. Wow, there's some tentacle action going on there. So that's like some Cthulhu stuff, some like Resident Evil zombie stuff. Those two will probably not make it. Who knows? Some dead fish. Yeah. So go ahead and yeah, it looks like Cthulhu stuff. Go ahead and download that. We like them pictures. All right, so GitHub. Yeah, so GitHub does this all the time if you want to do your global stuff. I don't think we don't need to do it globally though. We can do it username, email, setting for single repository. So we'll just do it for the single repository here. So we don't have to go through this. I'm adding this because I know this is something that's going to be asked, or this is something that's going to be an issue when you're doing it. You have to do this before you actually do your commit. So in this case, let's go ahead and do it here. And we're going to do your name. So we're going to do GitHub author. And then we're going to do GitHub author email, author name. All right, cool. So we're going to define those two variables there at the top. That way it should help us with our commit here, and we don't have to use the global variable, because I know that's going to be something like, and that's just, you get that with experience. Yeah, that's fine. We can copy that. And if anybody needs to change it, they can always just change it here at the top. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, wait. Actually, I want to see if this is being used anywhere. On the occurrence, perfect. So author name, we will use tree star systems. Oh, that's me. I need to get that in. I need to do some stuff with that. And then we can just do info at tree star systems.com. Yeah. All right, so that should be good. I think that should be all we need on those. I'm not gonna prompt for that because I don't think we need a prompt for that. We can, but it makes it like more things that we have to enter. We can prompt for that and put in everything. That's really copy and paste. So me not prompting for that is a little bit on the lazy side. But I just don't think we really need that. And since it's going to be something that I use all the time, just go ahead and config. If anything, what I probably do is note that in the README to make that change, just so I don't get inundated with a whole bunch of emails or something like that, and maybe it's like, okay, you can sanitize that type of information in the script beforehand. So that'll be something. For instance, wait, what did I just do? Okay, cool. Instead of doing then I could put email, and put that there to where you have to make those configuration changes. Sometimes I like to have it in there and you have to hard code it. And then other times I'm like, nah, I don't really want to go through all that, because it's like, how many times I'm going to change this? I just don't see myself changing it a lot. If I do change it a lot, then I'll go ahead and do all the other stuff. So let's see. No, oh crap. Now I gotta add the whole email again. Info at treestarsystems.com. And I would just add all that down here. There's not much. It wouldn't be too hard to actually put that in there. It's just, where do I put it? Project name, and then yeah, there's not too many prompts, but yeah, I'll put it in here. Yeah. Cool. So let's go ahead and move towards final testing. We're going to generate the Nginx conf. We did all that stuff, so that'll be new code that needs to be tested, and we'll keep an eye out for that. Also, we'll keep an eye out for the system vars file under the system config folder, just to make sure that has the everything's encapsulated properly. So let's go ahead and get our name here. So what is our name? This is probably not the best way to do this. Project description, system valid chars. No, okay, yeah, system IDs, and then application. Okay, port numbers. Go into the app directory. We don't have a file because it erased. What the fudge? Wait, I thought it erased. ls root. I thought I got rid of that thing. All right, well, it's still there. Yeah, well, that's weird. Why did I guess I just didn't see it when I did the ls command earlier. So enter there. Okay, cool. So it made connections to the GitHub API, authenticated with the token. I'm gonna make this public. It's gonna do its stuff. It's creating everything. So this is what I dealt with last night, or yeah, dealt with Tuesday night when I was dealing with this. Core.js file, all that stuff is done. Actually, we can go ahead and look. We can do nano obfuscate there, and then system confs, and then system vars and nano. All right, cool. So it does everything that we needed to do here. Home directory is there. Username is root here. System ID, and that even that username, we can actually change that. We'll probably change that to where that actually gets the actual username. We can use the who am I command, and then we could just use that in the usual fashion. Just do echo who am I, and then go from there and then collect that information. That might be something that we want to actually do. So I'll probably put that in like a username variable or something like that. So it always collects the right information there. So we'll make that change here in a little bit. In this case, it even because what this is doing right now, it is doing the git pull or the git push to the repository. It's already made the repository or should have already made the repository by now. So if I go reload, so it's made the repository, but it's empty, right? So now we have to go ahead and put in all the other information there. So we have to commit it. So tree star systems there, and then what's my password? Volt. Oh, press the enter. I didn't need to do that. All right. So in this case, it's doing the npm install, generating. All right. So it had an error with that, with the Nginx. So that's good. That's good. Nginx. Oh, that that'd be nice if we add that, right? So let's add a little bit of a helper here. Please check using the nginx -t command. All right, so we're going to escape those. I think we can do a -e, or we need to do a -e in that. All right, cool. So then that should give us the nginx -t command. And what do I have here? So if we go to our repository now, refresh that, now we have everything in there. So that's cool. Like, you guys get to see like, oh, wow, like this is it from the Genesis point to now and how it all worked and how it all came together. You could see that we installed all of the dependencies. for the actual project itself. I can actually go to that project and everything will be in there. But let's see what's going on with nginx.t. All right. Is defined listen directive. No SSL certificate is defined to listen directive, obfuscate. Oh, why would he even put that there? All right, so let's see. We generated a bad nginx file. And we could just test this by itself. All right, so we got obfuscate there. So it doesn't like our SSL directive. Oh, maybe it's... No SSL certificate is defined. As I said, that's a problem. So we're gonna have to define. We're gonna have to actually push or make an SSL certificate. We could probably make a fake one, or we can even script something for Let's Encrypt, which is a free SSL certificate service, and I use that for quite a few things. But for all intents and or for the most part, this is done right. Everything else is good. It's just that we don't have an actual SSL certificate. So let's see. Let me see this here. It shouldn't run though, but let's go ahead and remove these here. Yeah, because it's no such file directory. All right. What should we do, guys? I think what we should do is just take out the SSL. It's not going to be good though, because if we take out the host, I mean, we want to usually always have this encrypted from day one. So what I'll have to do is generate a self-signed certificate and put that in all of this in this code here, and that'll be a part of it. But I won't do that now. Might do that later, but I think that's fine. I know how to fix that. So let's go ahead and do this RM, and then T successful. So we're good on that. Let's go back and see what else happened. So put in the username password for the repository so we can actually add stuff to it or do a push to it. Boom, that's good. Yeah, man, I think we're good on that. All right, we go to it. So now if I go to system confs, system vars, everything's there. The only thing we want to add is that we just we use whoami to generate the actual username. So that'd be nice. The MongoDB config, we should be good on that. We should be good on our PM2 config. We can even add to where PM2 actually goes ahead and runs. We can even do other things too, because usually when I make apps, they're public, so or they're on the public IP address or running as on one address. So that'll be something that somebody can add prompts for and configure this even more. It's a call package.json. Everything should be in here. The only thing I don't see our git ignore in here. Create mode, git ignore. Why is our git ignore not in the repo list here? I don't like that yet. Wait, where did I put the git ignore? I put it here. All right, cool. So we got to move that out to the main directory. All right, that's cool. But this is why we go through and check before release. git ignore, and then our git ignore static files project name right there. There we go. Well, that is your proper place, son. All right, and then what we're gonna do is system username. Oh, we're going to make that whoever you're running this as. So who am I? System username. All right, cool. So with the system username, boom. Go ahead and save that, and then we're gonna find a root. So everywhere root is, we're gonna replace it with $ system username. Okay, well, we don't need to do it there because that's okay. So there's only 2 occurrences of the word root. See this SSL certificate. I also want to make it to where it is defaulted in the project directory. So let's do this. Should be. Ooh, that would be a problem. Look at that. See how it has opt there? We don't want that. We don't want that. Get that out of there. I know I have a scratch pad here with all of those. There we go. Baster. Yeah, so we definitely don't want that. It's crazy. We're just picking that up so late into the development here. In fact, let's start from the top and see everywhere the word opt is written. So opt for baster, that's good, that's okay. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. All right, great. So that's the only other place. Good. Glad we found that. Okay, it's baster, project name. Now you don't want to self-sign cert because then you'll have all types of issues, but with authenticating it. But if it's like a small project and home project or something like that, and you want to make sure you test it over SSL, and then you can put a proper SSL wildcard or public certificate or a Let's Encrypt certificate in there, you can go ahead and do that. That's not a problem. I've done it quite a bit. I've even had projects run with an invalid SSL cert. All it does is just stops you from getting into it. All right, so what we originally wanted to do, there we go. So for this to be valid, we have to include an SSL certificate. So, let's think about this here. So baster, and then this should be in system conf, and then certs. And then we'll have it system. Yeah, I think this is how we'll have it. Baster, project name, system conf, certs, system ID, full chain. Full chain private key.pim. I'm just thinking, guys. Apologize for the silence here, but sometimes you just gotta sit back and think. All right, cool. So boom, there. And that's one thing you got to do. Like when you're working on these projects, you got to think ahead of the people that are talking to you, and that's kind of what I had to do. I had like multiple meetings today, and we're trying to brainstorm a couple of things in terms of our process and so on and so forth. And one of the things you have to do is stay 1 or 2 steps ahead of the people that you're working with in terms of programming stuff, because you have to answer, like give them suggestions on how you can actually code this and put it all together. Um, and that's definitely an important skill to have. But sometimes to do that, you have to sit and think before you even get into the meeting, like, okay, they're going to ask this, they're going to ask that. Experience also helps. And then, you can have that blanket response of, okay, hey, listen, I don't really know that off the top of my head, but I'll go ahead and look that up and see if I can actually get that done, because we want to do like single sign on and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, how are we going to do that? I don't know. I've never done single sign on, or I may have never done single sign on with a certain authenticator or a identity provider, as they call them in the OAuth world. So it's like, how do I do that? So you got to think a little bit ahead. And if you can't, just say, hey, listen, let me take note of that, and I'll go ahead and review it and get answers back to you via email or by the next meeting. It's definitely a way of saying, hey, listen, I don't know, but I'm going to know by the time you guys ask me that again. System comms certs. Oof. LS obfuscate system comms certs. Yeah, okay, cool. System comms certs. And this is where I put our certs at. Now I can have like different certs too, like, in this, but I don't think I will. Yeah, I don't think I will. All right, so we've made some corrections. Let's go ahead and rerun it. No, we can't run it yet. Let's figure out how to write. All right, so we're gonna have to we'll delete this later. But I like the fact that, but this is good. This is really good, especially where we came from and everything. I'll get this README looking a little bit better and all that other stuff, and putting that out there. So that'll be really nice. Maybe I even add like an insertion point for the README. It's just like, okay, enter description, and then add all the other stuff afterwards, and append all the other stuff after the fact. So that'd be really cool. We can do that in the generate README portion of the script here. So yeah, okay. All right. What's it called? The Ubuntu generate self-signed certificate. We want this to go as a PIM. Why is this an upside down Gmail icon there? Cert PIM. Okay. Oh, how do you generate PIMs? I forget. Great. Come on, give me the one where it generates a PIM. I forgot what the difference between a PIM is. I think a PIM just adds a couple things. See all of these things here? You can actually add that via the command line, so it could actually be done all in one command. Oh, jeez. This is one thing I hate about. Yeah, I'll do this later off stream. It'll be in the repository, guys. I don't really feel like doing this right now on stream, because there's a couple things that I'll be fumbling through here. Not that I don't want to show you the process or anything like that, but I do want to show a completed version of this, to where it'll actually put everything together. So you have to use basically the OpenSSL library or binary, and then create this file for yourself. But I can actually, all this stuff here, I can default Ministry of Water Slides. That's funny. Server IP address. Excuse me. But yeah, I can put all that together, and I don't plan on prompting for that. Again, I can, I could prompt for all these different things, what country you're in and all that other stuff. But I'll just say, hey, listen, just go ahead and into the actual config and hard code it for what you're going to use it for, because that's not something that I would want to be asked every time I'm doing this. I want to just hard code that. That'll be like, listen, if you want it to be custom to you and what you do in your projects, by all means, go ahead and do it. But I'm not going to be prompting for that and doing like 20 prompts on my script. That's just a little bit overkill to me and doesn't really make sense in the long run. And it doesn't really totally really make my life easier, really. So, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Sorry, I was watching the stream, making sure that it was still streaming here. Yeah. So I won't add that, and I will comment out Nginx for now. Because I just don't want to go through all that right now with you guys, because it's not really necessary, and it's a bit tedious. But you will see the updated code. I will work on it after stream here. So do get everything's good. Let's go ahead and uh, ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Enter project name. What is my project name going to be? It should be -1 something. Ooh. All right. -1 description. I'll make those changes to the description as well. So it defaults a lot of that stuff. Oh crap. Yeah, that's fine with the system. Base installation directory, that's good. In this case, we have it because it didn't erase it. Come on. Don't give me no BS, even if you do. I know it still worked. All right, core.js. And yeah, cool. So we put our get ignore in the right place. We'll do tree star systems and cool. All right, so there's an npm update. Maybe that's something that we should also do. No, we shouldn't have to do that. I'm only doing that because the system's been on for a while. I'm just running that, but yeah. So let's go ahead and check our repo. And all right, cool. So that being created is good. Get ignores in the right spot. Let's see our system const. Oh, what is this? Where's our system const system vars file? What happened? What didn't I see? This will be the last thing. We fix this and we're done for the night. Because there shouldn't be much that we have to do on this anymore. Uh, huh. There is no system vars. Oh, wow. I must have commented it out, or system username. Let's make sure I get that. Uh, system confs. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, system vars. Yeah, baster. System conf, system vars. Do generate system vars. Why? So it should generate the system bars. It's not in here. Shouldn't have to do it there. It should be here in the git command. Yeah, I must have erased it at some point. Yeah, I must erase it at some point. Oof. System vars. What's the name of this thing? Underscore vars. All right, do generate system vars. All right, I just took it out of the lineup there. Do generate core.js, do static files. No, it's right here. Wow. Why didn't that work, guys? Huh. All right, so let's do an ls-as obfuscate one system. What? Who am I? Okay. Who am I? That's what it. Why would it put that in there? Echo, who am I? Echo, who am I? Oh, no. I mean, yes, but maybe it took that as the literal sense. Should be, I want to run the command, who am I? And then you can do which. So if you want to find the actual absolute path to a binary, you can do which, and then whatever the binary name, who am I? And it'll tell you the full path of that binary. So maybe I just need to do who am I, and then that's it. I don't need to do the echo. Yeah, that's probably what it is. But yeah, if you wanted to, you can find the full path of the binary. Some people like doing that. I do like doing that myself sometimes, or sorry, I don't like doing that myself, but sometimes you have to, just in case you have maybe multiple binaries or you have different types of binaries, especially if you're using a binary like DD Rescue. So there's DD Rescue, and then there's the GNU version of DD Rescue. And DD Rescue is a pretty cool tool for rescuing, information from a damaged drive or disk or anything like that. But the GNU version is different and has different options in there. So you might have to do the absolute path as opposed to the system determined path, which is based off of the environment variable where it searches through all these different paths for binaries, and the first one it'll return that binary or execute that binary. But in this case, I just echoed who am I, and that doesn't mean anything. So who am I? So that's cool. I just don't know why it didn't, and it didn't give me an error either. Let's figure this out here. Fatal or okay. System vars. Huh. Everything else is in place. The actual file is in place too. Like it shows as being there, but it is not uploaded to the repo. That is the shit I don't like. I've never seen where like for instance it's not controller routes.js. I've never seen where it doesn't do it immediately, like there's any type of lag or anything like that. So I don't think that's the case here. Weird. Let's go ahead and run it again. Could be a fluke. I know I did enter the system name as the number 2. I doubt that's the issue, but maybe. Do prompts. All right, cool. All right, so all right, but I mean everything else is looking good, so I actually really am glad about even just adding that npm step. We could have just incremented that by number 2. Yeah, I'll have to fix that, guys. I don't know what's going on with that because it is there. Maybe the git add command is, well, no, that should be there too. Obfuscate 2 package logs at JSON and system confs. I mean, our system vars are there. Oh, aha! I know exactly why it's not there. That's not there because it's in the git ignore. That's definitely why it's not there. But let's go ahead and we'll fix that. And yeah, cool. So I know our username is here, there, and everywhere. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and fix that in our git ignore file in our static. I take that out because that system vars is that's something that I usually don't want pushed to the repo because it's something that I generate on the system itself. Yeah, so I'll keep that out, but it'll generate that system vars in the local repository. That's cool. Okay. It'll generate the system vars in the local repository, but then there should be another script after this, maybe written in Node.js using the Inquirer library, which is really nice, by the way. In fact, let's go ahead and show that. Let's show actual good-looking code or actual good-looking projects. npm JS. Really? Look at this. Is this this is like, come on, like space pasties? Like, what is this? All right, man. It's freaking British space suits. It's freaking crazy. Choir. No, inquire. Choir. There we go. So, interfaces. So this is kind of like doing like read. So this is like if you're doing the read line command or the read command in the read line command in Linux and then the read command in PowerShell. This is like a Node.js implementation that's really nice, and you can actually create nice questionnaires. Now, if I was to do a boilerplate and really do it in, excuse me, in Node.js, like, you know, just create a bash script that, you know, gets all the node repos and everything for us and then drops into a Node.js application and runs everything else after that. This would be the thing that I do. I wanted to do it all in bash, show you the hard stuff. I know it's been a long time. We've probably been doing this for a month, 2 months or something like that. But this one is really nice in terms of this is how I would do it. And if you actually go to the growboxproject.com, this is something I want to get back into. But one of these things you'll see here how Inquirer works, and you'll see on the back end. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm telling you, trust me, guys, it's really cool. It's coming up right there here. So you can see the Growbox username, and then you can default stuff as well, and then put in different numbers and all that other stuff. So this is a project that I was working on, but I haven't worked on it in a long time. But the Growbox project is a really, really nice project for me, and it was a really nice jump into not only coding stuff and then just running in the web, but also having like physical what's it called having a physical component to it in terms of building things and putting it all together. And I made this website where I took the template and edited the crap out of it, and then also it's a Node.js app as well, so that's how that runs. But yeah, I did everything, and I had to like resize all these images and deal with this. But I actually made this and made a whole schematic for it. Yeah, so I did a lot of stuff with this, but it's Raspberry Pi at the core, and then it controls all these different relays. This is the environmental control system. But these are the things that you can do. So you start you're starting with Bash, right? We've been working on this for a long time. You probably could have gotten this done in 1, maybe 2 days, depending on the size of the script itself. But we've been working on this. We put it all together. We went through all the little stuff, and then it grows into bigger things like this. Like you have a primer script, or a script that runs other scripts, or a script that installs other systems that will then run other scripts. This is kind of where I got the idea from, because it was like, okay, I have different versions or models of this code, but at the core, there's a couple things that are just foundational or fundamental. You have the stem portion of the project, the root portion of the project, blah, 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 whatever name you want to call the different modules in your project. But then, at the base, they have to be installed. You have to prep the systems. You don't want to run these things over and over again. You may not run a script, but maybe you do like a copy of the memory card for a base system, and that'll work. And that's kind of how you update stuff. So, or you can just run a script, which is a little bit more flexible, and then you can even probably rerun that script, probably add a trigger to it and say -u. And then with the -u, it says that'll run the update function or something like that. But yeah, this is the whole system all put together with the lights. I still have this, and I just really need to get back to it. There's other things I've been doing, and part of the reason why I started this stream doing the streaming is because I wanted to get back to this. I wanted to like really complete this and start doing like working with sensors, working with your float sensors here at the top, and then also working with your I forgot what they call these sensors. These are float sensors too, but it's different because you have like the Bob sensors and then you have the float sensors. But working with all of these different things and putting it all together, because this would be like the water system where you have all the nutrients and stuff. And then this is it without like all the other electrical stuff done to it. Having HDMI connectivity, you can close this thing up and pretty much not watertight because I put holes in it, but now I can access certain things that I need. And then it was just such an awesome project, and I want to get back to it and want to start building more things like this again. And doing this, and you guys doing this initial project with me has been definitely great, and it definitely helps me in the long run, in terms of getting that fire back, and wanting to do these things again, and going over them and doing all the testing. You can see how tedious it is. But with that being said, guys, if you get discouraged, if you need to take time off, if you feel depressed, if you feel not the same, take your time. Take a rest, take a break. Don't burn yourself out. I did it. It took me a while to admit it, and I just did not want to admit it, but I got burnt out, and it was tough to deal with that and swallow that. But now I'm looking at getting back into it, and I'm kind of just dragging you guys along with me. I hope I add some value and help you guys out. But for the most part, we're done with this part of the project. Now we can run, hopefully next week, or yeah, next week Tuesday, we'll put all this together and we'll actually run this script to start a new repo. I'll be working on some more stuff after this to get the SSL thing figured out. But we'll start a new repo, and from there, when we start this whole new repo here, we'll start working with the financial asset tracker, pretty much taking my spreadsheet here and all the stuff that I have to enter, such as all the prices for XLM, how many coins I have, and the value, and all this other stuff, and breaking that down. Hopefully that project will move along a little bit faster. We'll see the little things in there, and then go from there. But that'll be a multi-week, multi-month build out, and that'll be something that I'll be working on and off stream on, and going over some of the changes and things like that. I do have to do an update stream because this is crazy. Portfolio balance literally gained $9,800, I think. Oop, wrong page. Yeah, so almost $9,800, so 97.49 and 58 cents in valuation in pretty much 1 month. I mean, today the 30th here. What's the last day of the month? The 30th? Yeah. We're hours away from the last day of the month. And in this month alone, just the valuation, and mainly from cryptocurrencies and a little bit from the market. So we want to take this spreadsheet, and we want to put it into a web form, and start doing some front end coding with that as well. There'll probably be some streams where I don't talk as much or I don't explain as much. I just do it, and you guys will see that and come along for the ride. As always, thanks for listening. And if you're not taking if you're not taking what I say with a grain of salt, then you're low on sodium. Please do your research, look into it. Find out more things about what's going on in the coding and the projects that you use. For the last person that just joined, thank you very much for joining. You can catch the playback here. But guys, next we'll be working on getting this API. Or getting this whole code, this project here, and putting all this together. One of the last things I want to show you is that gitignore file. So that's static.gitignore. What I do is I have a portion that says custom, and what I have here is, yeah, I have 2 sections that say custom, so I'll probably have to change this. But there's anything that says JSON, and that's why it didn't take that JSON file up there for me. But everything's working as it should, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, guys, thank you for joining in. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that, and go from there. Peace.